How's it going, everybody? Chris from CDC Flips here, back with another video on the 2011 Mini Cooper. Today, I want to replace the wiring, the engine harness. I picked one up off eBay this is actually for a 2010 Mini Cooper. I believe it's a Clubman. Hopefully, this will work. I checked the other day. The connection seems similar, so hopefully it'll work. Also, a PCV valve. It's cheap. I figure I'll throw it in there to see. I noticed bringing the car into the garage, and I checked the oil again, that I saw white vapors coming out of the tube, and checking the filler cap, same thing. I'm really concerned that the issue is going to be a blown head gasket, but I've read that the PCV valve can also cause the same issue. So I figured I'd go that route first and see if that fixes the issue. I'm not confident that it will. I'm probably looking at having to dismantle this and replace the head gasket, but I really don't want to do that, just because it's a labor-intensive job, and I really need to get this thing either fixed and cleaned up and sold, or be done with it and send it back through the auction, and try to find something else. But anyway, that's where we're at right now. So let's get started. Now I'm going to do my best to try and not get in your way, but obviously I have to get all over this, so most likely I'm going to be in your way. You can see there's quite a bit of gunk on there. That's maybe typical. I don't know. I've never seen a PCV valve like this before. From the back side, it looks pretty good. Almost looks new. So I'm wondering if maybe the previous owner, in addition to replacing this ignition coil and tampering with this wiring in an attempt to try and resolve these DTC codes, that maybe they tried this as well. And here's the new one. No, maybe they won't come out of there. I think I am going to wipe this out, though, before I put this new one in. everybody. I just wanted to cut into this and kind of go over the situation with the Mini Cooper at this point. So I was working on that engine harness, trying to get it switched out. I got down to the very last connector. It was under the transmission where I could not reach it, and I don't have any way. I tried to get the car up high enough to where I could get underneath it, but unfortunately I'm just too big to fit under there, and it's too low to the ground. And I don't have the space where I can leave the vehicle, like it was in the garage, but my wife uses this garage. We keep her car in here. And so I didn't have time to, couldn't just leave it here. So essentially, I got to a point where I was like, okay, well, I can either try to mess around with getting this connector undone in, the next couple hours, or I can just put it back together, leaving the old one harness on, get it out of the garage, and then I'll deal with it later. In the process of doing that, I came to realize that I'm most likely based on the codes that I have, so I got underneath the vehicle. Let me start over. I got underneath the vehicle and I could see that there's fresh oil leaking from between where the engine and transmission connect. So that's an issue. Aside from that, I mentioned in the previous video that it looked like the ignition coil. It seemed like the ignition coil was different. So it looked new. And then when I got underneath, I could see the O2 sensor, and it's new. So whoever had this before is following the same, looking at the same issues that I'm looking at. Faulty connector, or a bad ignition coil, or O2 sensor, trying to fix these codes. And so then when I took the oil fill cap off the valve cover, and I could see, exhaust fumes coming out of it, and I'd already replaced the PCV valve, now I'm thinking, okay, there's something seriously wrong. And doing research, it seems like most likely it's, an issue with probably a leaky valve, which means I got to take the head off, which means I have to take the front end off, which now is going to be a really big job that I just don't really have the space to do. Starting this business of flipping cars, I probably should be looking at cars that, don't require a whole, I'm trying to find ones that don't require a whole lot of work, but I try to stick to run and drives, buying from the salvage yard, thinking, okay, if I just, I can just replace some body panels, maybe do some, oil change, brakes, tires, stuff like that, and then sell it. And my very first one, that's not how it worked out. There's just more work involved there than I'm willing or able to commit. Like, if it didn't have 151,000 miles on it, if it was like 100,000 miles, then I might consider investing the time and money to fix that. But it's already got 151,000 miles on it, and I've got issues with the engine. Plus, I still got to replace the hood and the the hood and the quarter pan, or the fender, and then there's some quarter panel damage that's got to be fixed. So realistically, it's just not worth the time. So at this point, I'm probably just going to end up selling it for parts, or, I was going to try and run it back through the auction, but as a as a individual, a consumer, not a dealer, I don't think I can run it or send it back through the auction. I can sell it to Copart for about a third of what I paid for it, but I can't, I can't like send it to them to run through the auction. But if I was a dealer, I probably could. So in that case, I'm probably just going to end up trying to see if I can find somebody through Marketplace, who wants to take it. Which, by the way, I did mention in the previous video that that I was selling that I had sold that Volkswagen, and it's gone. So that was good because the money that I got from the Volkswagen is going to fix the Jaguar, and then hopefully I can sell the Jaguar and then use the money from that to buy the next one. Problem is though is Jags are cheap to buy, used, and expensive to fix. So I'm probably gonna have a hard time even coming close to, I mean, if I'm lucky, so with the Volkswagen, I made a couple $100. I'm pretty sure with the Jag, if I do sell it, it's going to be, the margin is going to be about the same. Maybe an extra couple $100, maybe, right at, maybe I break even or just slightly less. I'm not really sure. But that's another video down the road. Then I just wanted to let you guys know what was going on with the Mini Cooper, and I've been kind of putting it off because I've been debating on what I wanted to do, and ultimately this was the conclusion I came to. In any case, I appreciate the support. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. If you like what you see, like, share, subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Have a good day.